Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Olivia Freeman, and I am your congressional candidate. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces out here. Unfortunately, though, you've heard all my stories, so I'll make this really brief because usually in 5 minutes I don't get to the good stuff. The good stuff isn't about why I'm running or what I'm about. The good stuff is really what a Freeman administration would look like. So let me give you, for those of you that don't know me, yes, I'm running for U.S. Congress. The reason I'm running is because I've looked at the candidates that are running, and God bless them, we've got some folks that don't have as much business experience as they might need. Their lobbyists will eat them alive. We've got some folks that may not be representing the majority of the people because they live somewhere outside of that. So that's not what I want. If I were voting, those aren't the people that I would vote for. So I looked at myself and I looked at my own credentials. I said, you know what? You've got business experience. You've sold software, computer technology stuff, so you understand the technology end of what's going to make our region more productive and what's going to give us jobs. If everybody says it's technology, then you've got that experience. And I've got something else that I don't see a lot of in the other candidates, and that was very simple. I'm a negotiator. I'm a very cool negotiator. I bring up my arsenal. I don't go in there guns blaring. I kind of I find out what it is that you want. I find out what you're trying to get to. And I bring up my arsenal of what I need, and if I honestly have to, I can take your knees off. I don't want to, but I can. And we're going to need that in Washington this time. No more Miss Nice Guy. No more Mr. Nice Guy. We're going to have to take these guys on one at a time, head on. The old days of being nice are over. So that gives you an idea of what I am. The idea that I'm a mom, yes I am. I have a little one out in college over here at Wright State. I am a military person. I was in the military 1st of June, 1973. You still do the math every time. And I'm a businesswoman. Like I said, I'm the one who actually read the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act. I understood what was in it when they were talking about putting banks together with investment companies. I understood that going in. This was some very bad stuff. And if we really want to look at why the banks failed and why they're so big to fail, that was the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act that did that. So I understand the ins and outs and some of the goings and comings of these people because I'm a business person. So with that part taken out, let's talk about what a Freeman administration would look like. There are 3 things that I want to do right off the bat. I understand that people in this district are hurting. I know that because I've met them. I've walked to their doors, knocked on their doors, had coffee with them, and the big thing they're talking about, you know what, Olivia? If we could just get money for women who have lots of babies. That's not welfare kind of money, but car repairs and things that welfare doesn't cover. There have to be programs for that. Now, you know what my answer is? There are. So many people don't understand. There are millions of dollars every year that comes from corporations that goes to their foundations. Did you know that if you don't ask for that money, it goes back to the corporations? And here's what I say. This community needs that money. We need those services, and we need them right now and right here. And guess what? As your congressman, I can do that. I can create programs like that. We don't have to go to the government for everything. We have resources right here. And I believe that I can bring those to the people, and that's the first thing that they asked for. With the Freeman administration, the next thing people asked for was a very simple thing. They wanted to find out, Olivia, what can we do about education? You're the one that asked about education. I said, what happened to the Ohio Science Alliance? Not everybody is going to be a hamburger flipper. Not everyone is going to, with the 10% that we have going to STEM, we need more people understanding basic technology stuff, not the fancy stuff, the basic stuff. Like you said, the kids are learning to take tests. Thank you. They're learning to take tests, but they're not learning the real stuff. Ohio Science Alliance can do that. Third thing, let's get jobs. Let's not worry about what the corporations are going to do. Let's create them ourselves. We can take it. We have a beautiful conference center over here. Why can't we put in a Friday afternoon, bring in Wright State University, teach them all how to do their business plans. Saturday morning, teach them how to do bring in the venture capitalists and those kind of guys that bring in funding for that. Bring in employees that are from Ohio Jobs and Family Service. I mean, these are programs that we can do ourselves without going to ask for money from the government. These are plans that help our community right here. So that would be a business network weekend. This is not rocket science. This is not rocket science. And we can do it today. Today. So I'm saying, as your congressional candidate, this is what your Freeman administration would look like. I think that's what we're wanting. I think that's what the people are asking for, and I'm the one to bring it to them. My name is Olivia Freeman, and I am your congressional candidate. Thank you.
Let's have 2 questions.
Of course.
Questions for Olivia, please?
Yes.
Well, where are you going to get the money to run these programs if you're not going to the government?
Would you
Let me,
repeat the question?
where would you get the money if you're not going to go to the government? What I do most of the time is help small businesses find funding for. Oh, sure. What I do is help businesses find funding. So when I'm looking for programming, I wind up running across this money, and I'm thinking, wow, it would be great if I could find someone to utilize this funding. For instance, if you had 25, if you were a part of an organization, let's say Women Against Breast Cancer, and I'm asking you to give me 2 or 3 people of that organization, I will train you how to write grant proposals. One of the things I will also show you is how to search for them. Because for instance, if you have some folks that want to have foot problems, guess what? The Dr. Scholl, this is true, the Dr. Scholl's Organization Foundation will give you $15,000 for just about any project you want. All it has to do is have to do with feet. I kid you not. We just don't know about these programs. No one's telling us, but they're out there, they've been out there. And if that money is not utilized, it goes back to the corporations. So I'm just telling you where it is and how to get it. Because I've been falling over this stuff for years. I'm just trying to find people who need those services. Yes?
Yes, your statement is you're pro-business, work with business.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the right to work issues that's going on across the country?
Ooh, it's a slippery slope to me. Very, very slippery slope. I have issues with anyone who says, you know what, I think corporations are the ones who have the opportunity to decide who's going to be able to negotiate who works there. If you want to hire somebody, that's one thing. But what I do have a problem with is, why are we, as an individual, being told I have to, what is it? I just went through this myself with the company I used to work for. We have so many people, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. Let me give it to you this way. I am not a right to work person. I think that is a wrong way to do it. I think that our corporations are trying to manage who they have in their staff, because I've been a recruiter before, but how they're doing it through this particular kind of legislation is wrong. And I think here, in Wisconsin, we're going to run through the same kind of responses that they did, and I don't think that's going to fly here. So that's not. I would be against that. I'm sorry. I think that's wrong for Ohio. I think it's wrong for us. My 2 questions?
Yeah. Thank you.
With 2 minutes to say something really important, I want to tell you, if you really were to be serious about job creation in this region, we've got to look at the assets that we already have. One of the assets we have is a military base sitting right here, and I found out recently that these people have projects that they've been doing for years that are not working. The money is gone, the project's gone, but the product that they made is still there. I went to some of these organizations through the SBA and some of the other organizations on base, and I found out that we, as employees of the base, essentially, can bring those products to an organization like the conference center and train those to be repurposed to be sold as regular products. We can do that. We have the ability to do that. NASA did it. It's a wonderful model, and it works. So when I was talking to some folks at the base, they would love to do that. And guess what? That creates businesses right here in our neighborhood. So that's one of the things I believe that we really could do on our own. We don't have to go out into the ethos and ask and beg and plead for stuff to happen for us. We can do this on our own. Another thing I'd really love to let you know is when we're talking about what I need from you in order to make these things happen, we've actually been endorsed by the National Political Women's Caucus. And to me, that's very important because that's one of the groups that's been keeping me involved and informed about what's been going on in Washington while I've been campaigning. So they've kept me abreast of what kind of legislation's out there. For instance, Mike Turner just signed something the other day, the NDAA, where they're talking about, right, it was right here across the street from us, and they were talking about, actually, I could say to you, I think that woman's a terrorist. They will snatch her up out of her house and hold her without due process for as long as they want. I came to protest that, and I will protest everything for you on your behalf. That's Olivia, and I'm your congressman. Thank you.